beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are new, welcome. And if you love this info, please subscribe. All right, Cody, always here to help you have the most healthy, glowing, and gorgeous skin of your life. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how incredible vitamin C is, why you need to be using it if you're not using it, and just also how to apply it so that you get an incredible result with it. Because I think a lot of people are using vitamin C just very quickly and they don't realize that vitamin C is something that you really want to give a little bit of time to absorb into the skin before you just go on with the rest of your products. I always think that part of my job is to kind of remember where the consumer might be, who they are, their behaviors. So remember that how you might be thinking is just very different than a professional. So, and how you might be living is obviously very different, especially if you're a mother and you're rushed and you have a very busy life. You're probably just slapping stuff onto your skin and trying to rush out the door with the kids screaming and grabbing their snacks and stuff. So I get it. So my hope today is that you're going to learn why you need to be using vitamin C, why you need to be applying it a certain way, and also just a little bit of the vitamin C, kind of clarifying some of the vitamin C hype that's going around. Because what's happened, it's really sad, like with any product and any kind of active agent or ingredient, is that it gets this kind of hype around it, and then every product line is trying to say on the front of their bottle contains vitamin C or contains some miracle broth or whatever it is. And then consumers get kind of unfortunately misled into thinking that product, because it has vitamin C and so on YouTube said use vitamin C, that it's probably going to be very effective. And here's the thing you need to know about vitamin C is it's very unstable. So a lot of people think, oh, I don't want to spend that much money on the formulation of a good vitamin C, but I'll tell you now, it costs a lot of money to formulate and stabilize a good vitamin C. It just does, because vitamin C is extremely unstable, and that's why they mix certain things with it to try to stabilize it. Because vitamin C is a water-soluble nutrient, it is to have a more lipid-based kind of formulation with it in order to be able to penetrate into the skin. Because the skin, the top layer, the skin is dead skin on the top, and it's rejecting a lot of things. It pushes out, it doesn't want to pull in anything, because that's what its job is to do, is to protect you from the environment and stuff. So vitamin C, because it's water-based, it doesn't really have the ability to penetrate unless you've been using a good formulation. I've used and worked with Obagi, Is Clinicals, Skin Medica, SkinCeuticals, all of them. And I've used them all because vitamin C has been something that I've known for the years, through the last decade, is such a great vitamin and nutrient to put on the skin. And here's the thing, if your skin doesn't look youthful and it's looking dull and it's aging, or it's looking like it's got a lot of wrinkles and it's dehydrated, it's probably nutrient deficient. And vitamin C can be one of those easy fixes to apply and use to your skin consistently, so that you start to give your skin some nourishment. Think of your skin and the layers of your skin like soil. And what you put into that soil will regenerate and grow beautiful skin, or what you put into that soil of minerals and nutrients will grow a very healthy and vibrant plant. And the same is true if you don't do that. So if you're growing vegetables in nutrient deficient soil, then you're not going to have very tasty, succulent vegetables and fruits, and they're not going to do all that much for you, because they're not going to contain the kind of nutrients that are necessary for our body to absorb them. So same is true of skincare. So you have to do your research to know that if the company is using an active amount of that agent, how much they're using, how they're formulating, what they're stabilizing it with, and what they're using as a vehicle to allow it to be able to penetrate into the skin, and also how they stabilize it so that it doesn't go bad. Just so you know, any vitamin C that's liquidy, like I'm going to show you mine today, a lot of you use it already as a demonstration, but a lot of vitamin C's will start to get yellowy and they all oxidize. No matter what a company will say, they're all oxidized just the way that it is. So that's just something to know. But if the formulation has been perfected, then you should be able to use that bottle without too much of an issue of oxidization or destabilizing whatever the company says or recommends. Like for instance, mine is a year with this formulation because it uses propylene glycol. Now propylene glycol is amazing because it's humectant, it's a binder, it's a moisturizer, and it's also a vehicle to allow the absorption of this vitamin C to go further into the skin, and it turns it into more of a lipid form of vitamin C because vitamin C is normally water-based. So it makes it just be able to penetrate deeper into the skin. And you do want to use a vitamin C that's getting into the skin. You need to get it into the soil. You can't just put the nutrients on the top and expect much of a result. If it's not getting into the deeper layers of the skin where it can build collagen, where it can start to have the cells communicate healthy skin cells and to act as an antioxidant, then you're really not doing much with the vitamin C. The vitamin C probably isn't going to give you a life-changing result or really going to give you that look that you're looking for, which is mostly that glow, that kind of, see this kind of redness that I have right now? Part of it is because I've been really consistent with my retinol, my vitamin C, and my precision. I've been testing formulations for you guys and products and doing reviews, and I'm gonna stop doing that for a little bit. I'm gonna have some more reviews coming up, but to be honest, my skin it doesn't want to be using especially not good stuff. It needs, especially at 40, to be using just consistently stable, great active agents. And every time I go off my stuff, my skin shows it. I look older, I look tired, it doesn't look youthful and vibrant. So I am back on my junk again and just really being consistent. And I already know this, I've done this for the last 8 years. I kind of go back and forth and kind of dabble with other stuff from time to time because I too get sucked into all the hype and the latest greatest and all this trendy stuff with all these latest greatest kind of products. Just stay away. Use what we know works. Use a company that is legit, that is not also bamboozling you with their science, sounding like they're so unique and amazing. Like, I've seen a lot of people using vitamin C powder. Okay, here's the deal. You can do that, do what feels right for you. Would I do that? Absolutely not. I am not going to use a powder of ascorbic acid or anything that isn't formulated in a product that's stabilized so that it can actually work and penetrate into my skin. You're just getting a top layer effect. It's not going to do much, those kinds of things. I used to do that stuff back in the day in sprays and serums and making my own things and doing all of that in my own natural skincare line. And to be honest, it doesn't do much for people's skin. You want to wow people with their skin. You want people to be able to go, oh my God, my skin looks so healthy. And unfortunately, there's just not that many companies out there that are making solid formulations and spending the money in that formulation process to really bring to market, I think, products that are really great. Some very expensive ones that I love and I do recommend if you have the budget for it is like Obagi and Skin Medica and Is Clinicals and Inceuticals. Those are amazing. And I've gotten a lot of feedback that mine are very similar. So let's talk a little bit about why you need to be using vitamin C. So vitamin C is a great way to give your skin some antioxidants, but some nutrients to strengthen the skin. You need to strengthen the skin in order for it to look really beautiful. Otherwise, it's not going to really be that next level skin that you're really hoping that you can achieve or that you see someone else have that you think you can get. Let me tell you, the skin actually can handle a little bit of aggressiveness. It needs to be treated and trained to be able to accept more vitamins and nutrients into it so that it regenerates new skin, and then that regeneration of new skin is more youthful skin. And it only does that with the right agents and the right formulations and the right active amounts of those ingredients. So with vitamin C, it prevents also discoloration, pigmentation, melasma on the skin, and it's really great during the summer. If you're not using a vitamin C serum now during the summer, then no offense, you're not that serious about this, because the truth is vitamin C should be used every single day before you are going out into the sun or before you apply sunscreen. And the reason is it'll allow the sunscreen to work a little better. It will also allow your skin to, it's kind of like having a little insurance policy on your skin of nutrients and antioxidants so that it's less likely to become weak in the sun and to break down and then produce melanin or to get dehydrated. You just really want to be consistent with vitamin C. I recommend that you use it twice a day because you've probably damaged your skin even if you've tried your best, especially if you're going to the beach or whatever during the summer. You want to repair that damage. So I always believe give your skin what it needs the most of in the moment, be in the moment with your skin, and step up your skincare when your skin is getting the most damage, and step up your services with your professionals when your skin is getting the most damage. I always tell people, come in for a facial during the summer or a light peel because you're damaging your skin playing volleyball, going to the beach, and you need to make sure that you're on top of that, killing that damage as it's occurring instead of waiting. The same is true of a healthy lifestyle with your diet, with your exercise, right? You can let yourself go for the whole winter and then go back and rush and stress and, oh my God, I'm gonna lose all the weight. Girl, that's not a very sustainable way to live life, and I know you could do better than that, and I know you are doing better than that, and that's about a mindset. You have to get out of that mindset of rushing to save yourself after you've already let yourself go. The goal is to not let yourself go. Be consistent with your skincare, with your treatments, with your diet, with your lifestyle, with all of it, so that you're really just showing up for yourself. And when you show up for yourself, I believe that you're showing up for your creator who created you, which is to give you the sustainable life of vitality and just vivaciousness. So vitamin C, I know I'm going all over the place today, but vitamin C is also really important for people that are struggling with acne because it will strengthen the skin and help them. Now, I don't recommend that you use 20%, and I know everybody is selling 20% these days. Listen, in my experience in all these years in the last 2 decades, I think over 12%, generally speaking, isn't recommended for people that are very oily and acneic because it can cause congestion. I've seen it, and I've seen it firsthand from recommending my own 20% and Obagis and whatever, and then people would come in with blackheads and acne and stuff. The skin doesn't need, you could do better with the 10% using it twice a day than thinking you need the 20. You need the 20. You don't need the 20. Most of you don't need the 20 unless you're really struggling with your skin, or if you're mature and you're aging over 30 or 40, that's what I recommend, or you have a very specific concern like melasma or pigmentation. All this stuff about 20, you're going right to the top. You can have the chance of sensitizing your skin. You can have the chance of burning your skin. You can have the chance of congestion. You can have the chance of just also not being able to use other agents that your skin could really love and enjoy and want to accept because you're putting too much acidic stuff on your skin, and vitamin C can be very acidic to the skin, especially depending on the formulation. And of course, ascorbic acid is the one that is kind of touted as the best one to use, and there's different forms of vitamin C. I think if you guys want that, I'll talk all about the different forms of vitamin C's and what they do. Let me know in the comment section below. But ascorbic acid is a more friendly one. If it just says ascorbic acid, it depends on the formulation. It's probably not going to do all that much because it's a very cheap kind of, it's cheaper to manufacture. So what they do is they mix other, usually more expensive agents in there to stabilize it. It's very easily not stabilized. So ascorbic acid is the more natural form of vitamin C, of ascorbic acid. And usually that's a little bit more tolerated by the skin, but some people can be sensitive to it. So you just want to figure that kind of out. And that's why I always recommend doing like a 10% vitamin C. And then if you have a lot of issues going on, then you could go to 15, and then you can go to 20. But just going to 20, girl, because you are a percentage queen, isn't necessarily going to do better for you in the long run. And you could probably save your money and use that on another product that your skin might enjoy, like another serum or vitamin or nutrient or some retinol or sunscreen or something. So I'm going to show you how I apply my vitamin C to get the most amazing results. And today I'm using my Gentle Nutrient Cleanser, which I may be bringing to market online. It's already sold in my spa, and we use it on a lot of clients that are very sensitive or dealing with rosacea. What's great is a lot of my clients use it on their kids, their babies, and it's just very natural. But I'll let you know if I bring that out online. So I'm just wiping off the sunscreen that I had on today, so I don't want to really rinse my face in the shower right now in this video, so I'm trying to make this video under 20 minutes. So the thing about vitamin C, depending on the formulation, so because if it's water soluble, it can absorb a little bit easier into the skin, but if it's a bit more better formulation, then it might have lipids in there like vitamin E, or it might have like propylene glycol or something like that in there, or glycerin. Those ones you want to apply to your skin and let absorb into your skin for a minimum of 5 minutes. And couple people were like, yeah, I need to let vitamin C absorb in your skin. I'm like, okay, then don't let it absorb into your skin. Do whatever you want. You can do what you want. I do what I want. I'm teaching you how I would recommend doing it. And you know, the way why I'm teaching you how I would recommend it, I'm kind of cheap. I don't want to be wasting my money on stuff, and I want the most bang for my buck. My job is to teach you the right ingredients, how to use them correctly, so that you just really know that the stuff is working on your skin. And I even try to do that with more reasonable stuff, so that you can even make more reasonable stuff work even better through a different application. So I've just taken off all of my sunscreen. Yes, with this cleanser, you don't need to rinse it off with any water. Same is true of my exfoliating cleanser. So you can see my face is clean. This new light, I've been experimenting with new lights and stuff, and so hopefully it's not terrible. Anyway, so I'm using my 12% vitamin C, which anyone, you know, uses, anyone with even acne. And, you know, maybe if you're struggling severely with acne, you shouldn't even be using a vitamin C right now. Everybody's a little different. Maybe you just need to be using a retinoid and you need to be using AHA acid. But know that vitamin C is also an exfoliant, so it will kind of dry up the top layer of the skin. It will brighten the skin, it will strengthen the skin, it will heal the skin. It can help also with inflammation, on the type of inflammation you have. So if that's inflammation from like rosacea, or inflammation from acne, or inflammation from a sunburn, it can be really helpful for that, even though it's acidic. But the issue is if you're exfoliating and then you use a vitamin C, you're also now adding in another additional exfoliant to your skin. Because of the acidity of it, it acts as an exfoliant, and just be mindful of that. Less is more. So in this case, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm doing this, I use a lot more because, you know, turning 40 is real. And I put it on my forehead, I put it on my cheek. And because it's a lipid form with the propylene glycol, which acts as a vehicle, a moisturizer, a stabilizer, I rub it into my skin, about 8 to 10 drops, and I put it all over. You want to get your ears, your neck, the back of your neck, and you just keep massaging that in a little bit. You want to allow your skin, I've talked about this in other videos, to absorb that vitamin C a little bit. Now, if it's just a water-based formulation and even a cream, then it'll probably absorb a little quicker than this. But because this has the propylene in there, it's using a fatty chain molecule or lipid to allow it to penetrate deeper into the skin and to stay very stabilized. That's super important so that you really get your money's worth. And I always put vitamin C underneath my eyes and write whatever's left over on my fingers on the eyelids. Now, if you're super sensitive, and you know, be careful, but people neglect their eyelids and their under eyes. And I understand you want to be careful, be cautious, and it is acidic, but I always recommend that you put the vitamin C underneath your eyes. Why wouldn't you? It's skin, it needs that nutrients, it needs that love. So once that's absorbed a little bit, then I add another like maybe 6 to 8 drops. Do whatever you feel is comfortable for you. And then I focus on the areas that I'm really trying to work on. Now for me, I've been dealing with post-inflammation hyperpigmentation, and I've been just trying to get my skin back from using like the La Mer cream and all this other crap I was using. It's like my skin was like not looking very youthful. It needs nutrients. And so I've been really religious with the vitamin C and application. So I recommend that you kind of just massage it in a little bit more. Put it all underneath the eye like this. Rub back. Okay. And then you want to let this soak in. If you want to be extra and you really are serious about this, make the time to allow this to absorb for a minimum of 5 minutes until you feel that it's soaked into the skin. So we're gonna pretend that I have waited 10 minutes, but I don't want to keep you here for another 10 minutes. But you know, so what I do is I do this, I put my skin on, or my vitamin C on, and then I go and do something in the kitchen and probably prepare my little dessert and moisturize my body. And then once it's absorbed, I finish with the rest of my regimen. So now that it's absorbed into the skin, vitamin C, again, depending on the formulation, is also a moisturizer. So you may just be able to skip your moisturizer. This might be enough for you. You might not need also an additional moisturizer. That's also another little trick. Make sure you please get your ears, whatever's there and behind your ears, and get it into your hairline like this. If you are dealing with melasma, then apply just a little bit more. Make sure that you kind of rub it in and get it really good into the skin. Melasma needs a lot of nutrients. It needs to be regenerated with new skin and nutrients. It needs to have nutrients pushed into it. Just think of like the pigment or melasma or an uneven skin tone is like oxidization on your skin, like rust. It's kind of like rust. So you want to put like a protector on there and a nutrient that will kind of prime that rust so that it doesn't oxidize anymore. And how you do that is like with vitamin C. That's one of the tricks. So I'm gonna now show you my 20% vitamin C. I've been using this a lot too, mostly at night because it is very moisturizing. 20% lysorbic, 1% hyaluronic, ferulic acid, vitamin E, vitamin B, so niacinamide, so it helps with like inflammation and redness. And girl, I cannot live without this. I mean, both of them I use, the 12% during the day and this at night, but then sometimes I switch it up, giving my skin whatever it kind of needs. When you're purchasing a formulation like this, the reason they cost more, like I've already mentioned before, is to get those lipids to stabilize with this acidic formula. It costs more money to do that. So when you see a formula that doesn't have much in it that's doing that, it's because they aren't spending the money on that formulation. Is that bad? No. Is that wrong? No. It's just every company chooses to spend their money on different things and kind of get away with also the highest amount of cost that they can while still bringing to market a really good product. With this one, it's similar to the SkinCeuticals and the IS Clinicals, the formulation and the concentration of it. That's always the feedback I've been getting is that, oh my God, it's so good and it's a fraction of the price of the other ones. So because this one is a little bit more moisturizing, either you would use less during the day, something like this, because it's also moisturized. It's everything. What's great about this is for people like me and my customers that are kind of lazy, you know, just because I do this for a living doesn't mean I want to spend 5 hours doing my face. I used to do that when I was younger. I just don't have time and I don't really care to. I need things that are going to work and I need them to work quickly and I need to know that they're going to work. And so this is great because it will give you those people that want a product that does multiple things, that they know it's working because they can feel it and see it. The Beauty Elixir is definitely something if you're really interested in one of my products to kind of check out. So I'm going to apply a little bit to the forehead, a little bit to the cheek. Now, because this is more water-based, even though it has those lipids in there and the hyaluronic acid, this has more of a watery feel to it and texture. So it is going to absorb much quicker into the skin, and it does have the tendency to leave the skin a little bit more on the kind of deeply hydrated or tacky side because of the vitamin E in there and the hyaluronic acid in there. I always tell people use less and then kind of work their way up to adding more drops. But another thing about vitamin C that I think is really critical that people they underestimate about vitamin C is that it allows other products to work better too because it's an antioxidant. So it kind of beefs up other products, including your sunscreen. So to make your sunscreen just perform better because the skin is stronger because there's an antioxidant on there. But if you apply your vitamin C, make sure it's fully absorbed before you ever apply your sunscreen, and make sure the sunscreen is always last so that it just needs to be last, always on the skin last, the sunscreen. But let that vitamin C absorb into the skin really well so that, you know, here's the thing. This is what I want to say about product absorption and giving them time. I want you to imagine that you've spent $500 on this vitamin C serum. Are you just going to throw that on your face and then throw your sunscreen on? No, girl. You're going to let that baby absorb. Imagine you bought a $500 meal. Are you just going to swallow that real quick? No, you're going to enjoy that meal. You're going to slow down. You're going to breathe. You're going to make the most of that $500 meal, right? Same thing with the skin. You know, slow down. Be in the moment with your skin. Love on your skin. Massage it in. You know, use it and concentrate on certain areas. Play around with it. But anyway, if you have any questions about vitamin C, about application, about when to use it, how to use it, whatever, feel free to ask those questions today. I hope today helped. I just have been getting a lot of questions about vitamin C. I thought, well, let me just kind of do a general overview about vitamin C, why it's important to use it, why you should be using it, and how to use it so you get the best results. You can also I'll leave you with this, you can mix vitamin C with retinol and retin-A. If you're using retin-A now, like I showed you in another video, you can definitely mix them together. Put a pea-sized amount of retin-A in your hand, drop a few drops of vitamin C, and cocktail them together, and then apply it. The retin-A will be the vehicle that drives that vitamin C even deeper into the skin. But better, they work beautifully together. They love each other. Vitamin A and vitamin C are like the perfect marriage made in heaven that will never get a divorce. But I know there's a lot of like opinions online, and feel free to do whatever resonates with you, but there's also just opinions online that are not verified in any fact or science, so it's hard to kind of sift through that stuff. And a lot of the information I provide you is actual information that's been done on experience, my own testing with clients, over about 20,000 clients or more over the years, you know, way more than that if you count all my makeup days too, and application and everything, working at MAC and Sephora and all of it. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. If you have any question about my vitamin C too, and how, if you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know if it's really worth that money and whatever, feel free to ask that below. You know, the products will always be here. I always tell people this, you don't have to buy my stuff now. Go use up other stuff, see how that works, and if you're still not happy, then maybe try one of my things. And if you were gonna start off with anything and you just have normal skin or just are pretty, you know, standard, then start off with my 12% vitamin C. But if you're like struggling with your skin and you want hydration, you want something that's multiple faceted, that's going to do multiple results, multiple concerns all in one, and your skin is a little bit more aged, or you have melasma and you're not very acne prone, then the 20% beauty elixir is amazing. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.